Get rid of that. Yes. Got the goods. Back over to find my laddie. I'll actually tell you a little story about, see that lorry there? The R450. Oh, I've got a story for you about that lorry. Wait till you hear this. That R450 Scania, right? So this is from my truck sales days at the start of this year that I didn't really tell any of you about. So that lorry there, right? It came in from the UK from a crowd I was working for, okay? And at the time, it was just changing over. It was around April time, so it was just changing over for Brexit. So all the customs charges and stuff like that started coming into play, right? And which normally would be no problem, like, but I'll tell you, like, as a salesman, right? The guy who owns it is a lovely fella, by the way. I'm not trying to say anything that's just bad about the lorry, but I had an absolute nightmare. This was one of the last lorries I sold before I left, and so right, what happened was, lorry came in, whatever, we bought it the week before, and the crowd I work for actually had a place in the north, so we thought we could register it through there, you know, and avoid paying customs for no obvious reason, right? As you would, anyone would in business. And so we tried to do that, but apparently if it came into the country before whatever a certain date, and you had to pay customs charge, which was right. So we were like, right, okay. So I had already, in the meantime, I had already advertised that truck for a certain price, you know, put it up, whatever. And anyway, within a day or two, got a call about the lorry, because in fairness to that truck, it was very tidy when we got it in. It was gorgeous. It was really, really tidy. So I think it was an ex-Asda truck or something like that. It was a fleet truck, but it was a very tidy fleet truck. There was no damage or anything on it, or no, you know, dint or whatever. And we actually, there was a bit of a tear in the driver's seat, and we actually got that fixed. And it was fresh as Daisy was. And came in. So obviously, you know, I advertised it for a price. Customer came to the man who bought it now, or who owns it now. He came in, he says, yeah, I'm very happy with that price, I'm very happy with that service, go ahead with that. And as we did, and then I was like, right, okay, so I'll VRT the truck, because it was on English registration plates, or Welsh, or whatever it was from, and went to go VRT it, and they says, oh no, you have to pay the customs charge, right? So that was fine. So then this was a new thing, no one really knew about it at the time, so I had to go find a customs clearance agent and, you know, work back and forth with them. And so there was a couple of rules here and there, right? So everyone knows that Scanias are made in the Netherlands. They're not actually made in Sweden, right? So they're made in the Netherlands and then imported into Europe. So they're made in Europe, is what I'm trying to get at here. So I think at the time it was meant to be like 13% of a customs charge, and the Irish VAT, obviously we get that back, and so does the customer. And it ended up being 22%, because apparently the truck is Swedish, then got imported into Britain, and then exported out of Britain back into Ireland. So I had to tell the customer it was that price, now it's an even more price, and it's not me doing it to him. And it was a disaster. It was a disaster. This whole process went on over a couple of weeks. And the light bar that's on it now wasn't on it when we got it, obviously. So I had to order the light bar, and it took 6 weeks to get a light bar. In the meantime, this man is struggling to get a truck, you know. I had to try and find a lend of a truck to give him, because he was waiting for a new truck. He needed it there and then. So, that any truck salesman that watches this, I know exactly how you feel, and that's what I'll go into this, right? I'll talk about it a bit more. But basically, the reason why I left truck sales was just because there's so much pressure, and like, you could come in. You can have 10 white Scanias or 10 white Volvos or DAFs or whatever you have, right? And you can have 10 of them, they're all white, and they're all, you know, say 6x2s or whatever. And every customer that comes in, now this isn't the customer's fault, now this is, you know, this is just the job itself. It was just hard, because one customer could come in and go, I like that truck there, however, I need it to be black, and I need to have alloys, and I need to have a light bar, and I need to have work lamps, and I need to have this, and I need to have that. So that's fine, right? So all those separate things are a series of phone calls, right? Then you get another customer coming in, and then he says, I like that lorry, I like it in that colour, however, I need tipping gear on it. Right, that's fine, you can do that. Then the third lorry, another fella comes in, I need a pink, and I needed to have, I need you to upgrade the rear tyres, I need to do this and that. So when you're trying to manage all that all at once, it's a lot to take in. And most of the time when you're a salesman, you don't have a lot of drivers or a lot of help, so it's kind of all on you, like. So I found that very stressful, and I found that there just wasn't enough hours in the day to do it all. And that's why I hold high regards to every truck salesman, because no one knows what they go through. I've been through it. It's just, I'd much rather get into a cab and do my own stuff. I think more than what it was, why I wanted to get out of it was because I'd much rather run my own thing, even though like I work for my family, but I don't run it. Like I just drive the truck, you know what I mean? I might have small inputs here and there, but it'll be very, very minor. But like the likes of my YouTube channel here, the likes of all the other stuff I do on the side as well, I kind of like being in control of my own situation, and I know that I can say no, do you know what I mean? But whereas if you're selling trucks for a company, you're kind of like, you kind of have to do it for the company, you know? Otherwise the company looks bad, and it's so quick to get a bad name in truck sales and service. It's so quick, like anything can change it. And if you're not relying on your team behind you, if you don't have a good team behind you, or you know the service or after sales doesn't hold up to what you've sold the customer, it just looks really bad. And so it was just a constant heap of pressure that I really didn't need, and I had a lot of stuff going on at the time as well. So like I was building like a couple of sheds, which was like, you know, thousands, like, and I'm not used to spending that much money on things that don't have wheels, do you know what I mean? So, and then I bought a house, and then I was trying to decorate all that, and then I was doing the YouTube as well, and then it was just a lot to take on, you know. And I should have known myself. And then the financial pressure as well. So like when I went into sales, it was actually a step back money wise for me. Like, so I was willing to take the risk to, you know, not work as many hours and have a bit of a better lifestyle and stuff. So I actually took a hit back in pay, so that didn't help either. So like you make a lot of your money through truck sales and commission, everyone would know that, but it was tough. Like it was scary. And to be honest with you, if I had rode it out for another couple of months, it probably would have been fine. But it's just I had to get out at the time, because I just felt so under pressure, and I can't handle second hand pressure very well, you know. I can handle my own stuff just about, but I can't handle second hand pressure. If you're wondering, by the way, what that is, I found this out right this morning, that when this truck is in eco mode, it's constantly giving you eco tips. You can turn this off by just pressing the button and putting it into plain road mode, which is like, you'll see it on the symbol. I'll show you this in a while, but on the dash it has a little symbol where you're just the truck on a flat, and instead now it has an E, and then you can put it into a hill mode as well, which gives you more torque in the low end. So yeah, there's a lot on this truck. There's a lot, and I've been even just walking around it this morning, noticing the slight subtle differences, because there's a lot of changes inside and out that you don't even notice, and I didn't notice when I first seen it. You would have seen my YouTube video a couple of months back of walking around the 500 McCarthy commercials, but that was very brief and I didn't notice everything at the time. But now that I've gotten to spend a day with it so far, I've noticed a couple of other things, so I'll show you them later on and throughout the week. Sweating. Right, so first drop is done. I've done a drop and a collection, so there's actually not much weight on this trailer, so I won't really get to test it weight wise today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get a bit of a bigger load. So now we're off now towards, so I'm in Kilkenny heading towards Clonmel direction, then from Clonmel in towards Limerick, and then Limerick to Neenah and then up. So that's my plan now, so I better get on the move. I was going to show you the load, yeah, and I was going to show you exactly what was on it and stuff. But what happened was, see, I got in and I took my shoes off because I don't want to get this lorry dirty. I want to mind it for them. So that's what we're at so far. Not too shabby now. That's the inside during the daytime. I'll do another cab tour on this maybe later on, but for now, we're getting the move. So shouldn't have a bother on this hill now at all. Just for weight reference, my middle axle is up and My front lift axle on the trailer is up, so this shouldn't be a bother. And this is, I know it probably doesn't come across on camera, but this is a steep hill. Like, this is a very, very steep hill. If you came up here now in my CF, it would be doing, so now I'm sitting at about 54 k's. I'm presuming it's going to drop down here now because this bit increases in height. Come on, drop down into 8. About 46, 50 kilometers an hour. If I was in my CF now, we would have died. It went straight down to 30, maybe even 20. Because I know it doesn't look like it, but that is a steep hill. That was impressive now, in fairness, because I'm not empty either. I'd say, what would I say is on the trailer? I'd imagine there's about 15 ton on the trailer, because I have a few lumps of flat, and then 2 bales, a box section, and there'll be about 3 ton each now, and about 4 ton in the flat. So yeah, I'd say, yeah, roughly speaking, there was about 15 ton on the load. So for a 500, that wasn't bad. Now, sometimes I get confused in my head. It has more power than it actually does. But if that was a 750, I wouldn't have expected it to drop below 80, you know, on that hill. But for a 500 with a decent enough load on it, and this is a heavy trailer actually, I should mention that out. I think this trailer, when the truck is connected to the trailer, I think it's roughly around 15, 16 ton, like, so it's a heavy enough trailer. So sure, 15 and 16 ton, so about 30 ton gross going up the hill, and no bother, stayed at 50 the whole way. Now, in fairness, like, I would imagine that unless you put it into manual gears yourself, I could have dropped it into manual gear myself there a lot earlier and probably got up the hill a bit quicker. Probably would have got up at about 60. But there's no need of pushing the yokes, because when they're brand new, they just push themselves. There's no need to hammer them on all the time, you know. That's what I love about new stuff, because you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to screw it to get all the power you want out of it. You just let it do its own thing. It's smart enough, it can do it. Like all these systems that manufacturers put into lorries, there's so much, like, there's so many millions they spend on developing and researching these trucks that it'll do its own job. It'll only ever require your help if you know it's going to be a tricky situation. Now, a steep hill, it can figure it out itself. And I'm presuming when this is in hill mode, right? So back in eco here again, right? So I'm presuming when this is in hill mode that it tries to get up the hill, yeah, with the most amount of power, but still trying to save fuel at the same time, because all these new engine trucks are all subject to, you know, emissions regulations and how much usage they are using depending on the application that they're doing. Sounds like a lot of words, but so if you're doing quarry work all the time, like, they're probably not allowed to do any less than any more than like 32, 33 litres per 100 with their max weight. So I don't know. So this place I'm about to reverse into is tricky, right? And then when you have your front lift axle up on the trailer, it's very tricky. Very, very, very tricky. So I'm going to attempt to go with this in one go, but don't give out to me now if I don't get it in one go. I should, but just let them know I'm here. It's a disaster of a place. The gates, it's not even that bad of a place. It's easy to get in and out once you're in it, but the gates are just a disaster, because he has a bush overgrown the gate, so you can never see your gate where you're missing for. And if you're ever coming in here with overhanging beams, it's a disaster. Yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna go with it one more time. If I can't get it this way, I'm gonna get out and drop my axle, because people don't realise when you have the front axle up, your turning circle is reduced by 30%, you know. Let's hope we can do it this way. I have to come halfway across the road to get this swing. Oh. So the trailer actually wants to play games with me today for some reason. They're waiting for it. Good lad. Right, so this is my first attempt. I'll get it first time now with the axle down. Oh, fucking bins! See, look, when your axle's down, first time every time. But when your axle's up, you never get it. I'm at my second last drop, and I just want to show you something regarding these lads. So there's the Volvo there, looking very fancy. So if you're ever doing chains, now this isn't the only chain I had on it, I'm just after throwing them all over, but if you are doing chains, right, the best way you want to look at these is keep them at right angles. So see the way they're at the right angle to the trailer, and make sure that there's 2 tether points between here and on a flat surface straight down. And if you, when it's tightened down all the way, so like obviously I'm after driving all the way here, so it can come not that much tighter, but it's a bit higher. Leave this sitting against something like a bulkhead here, because if it's left sitting out here, it's just going to go like this all the way down the road and loosen. So you don't want that. You can see where that was moving. So leave that sitting up against there. Usually what I do is I tie them around the trailer hooks. Some trailers don't have them, and they might not have them in the right place for your chains, but I always aim for them because they're your best bet. Because if the chains are hooked down underneath here, there's likeliness for them to slack or whatever like that. With them, they won't. So here's a tip. Now, see how tight this is when it comes off. Okay, you can see. Come on, yeah, for me. You'll be able to see it unbending them. Some difference. Yeah. She is some machine. She's great at pulling this now, I have to say. Pulls it like, I would say not like nothing behind it, but obviously you can feel it's behind you, but pulls it really well. Another thing that I'm only after noticing, right, is see these. These didn't used to be in the exhaust box. These just used to have a little bracket here, and when they used to have a little bracket here, they used to always get broken off. You'd drive past the Volvo with one of these broken off on the older shape ones. That's a smart move now. Don't know how well the cable will last with all the heat there, but I'm sure it's obviously been tested. There's your blue tank behind here. This one has the twin tanks on it. What's she sitting on? They're pretty 70s, are they? What size are they? God, I think I'm losing my marbles here. Can't see the size on it. Oh, here we go, yeah. 70s, yeah, sitting on 70s all around. They're probably a bit low for me now, but they're fine, they're fine. Once you have air in the front, wink wink. Good bow here now. This is my last drop. Yeah, so that's it for the day now. In fairness, it was a very straightforward run. You know, wasn't too much to it other than a lot of mileage. Actually, how many miles is it? I'm in Nina here now, and I've done nearly 400 kilometers. So yeah, by the time I got back, it'll be next to 600 kilometers. So long days, like, you know, long old drive, 5 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, I'll just be bang on 9 hours near enough by the time we get back to Dublin. So you're doing long days, you know. Every day is the same. There's never a let up really. There's never handy days really. It's a very rare time you get a handy day and it's like a drop in Cork. You know what I mean? There's no locals or anything like that. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. But at the end of every week, when it comes to a Friday, doing that much mileage every day would wear you out. You'd be no use to anyone. So I don't really do much Saturday work anymore. I do the odd Saturday whenever I can, but because I have so much going on with these videos, then I have stuff to do with Ford, then I have other stuff to do, and then I have to come to work just by the weekend. By the time the weekend comes, you'll be no use to anybody. One thing I'm just after noticing, this is the second time I've done this today. I've accidentally, because in the older Volvos, maybe I can't remember exactly, but with the gear stick, I'm fairly sure, right, to change it from automatic to neutral, you have to pull the trigger back and push it forward. But with this, it just goes into neutral if you just push it. So if you lean your hand on it too much, it'll just go into neutral. That can catch you out, so be careful. Happened to me earlier on. I was coming into Tipperary town from Clonmel side, And you know, just as you come up the hill there, and there's a little mini roundabout, you swing left in towards Limerick and Emly and all them places. Sitting there, and I was there. I was like, "What's going on here?" I was in neutral. Like. Anyway, but that's what I suppose. That's what the armrest is for, isn't it? To stop you doing that. But anyway, we're gonna get back up the road. I'm probably gonna stop at Moneygall and get a coffee, and then plough on back. Yeah, so that's the end of the video for today. We're gonna catch up again tomorrow. I have no idea where we're going tomorrow. They're still trying to figure out where we're going tomorrow. So we'll get back to Dublin and worry about it then. So yeah, guys, thanks a million for watching the video. I hope you liked the first day of the Volvo FH500. I've really enjoyed it anyway. I've learned a couple of more things about it that I'll explain a bit more to you tomorrow. And it's done brilliantly. I just love these things. Anyway, more tomorrow. Speak soon. Blah blah blah. See ya. Love yous. Talk yous.